Welcome to RadioVision Network, Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole. And today we are honored by having a visit from our Harper. And that's not harpist, it's a Harper because of the size of
That's
the
right.
harp. And Kathy DeAngelo has willingly brought us some beautiful music and also some facts about the harp. So tell us about this harp.
Well, this style of harp, sometimes called a folk harp, sometimes called a lever harp, and this is the precursor to design. Lots of people are thinking about the big, grand, gold-colored harp you see at the back of the orchestra. That's a more modern adaptation of this style of harp. And this style of harp goes back. This is sometimes called the Neo-Irish harp, and a lot of people play. They don't use this as a stepping stone to play the pedal harp. This is just the harp that they focus on.
Now tell me, how long have you been playing the harp? And how did you get into this?
I started playing the harp in 1984. You have to do the math on your own. I met somebody, an old friend of mine, who had started playing the harp. And at that time, it was very hard to play the harp, not because it was hard to play, but because it was hard to find a good harp. And so I told my husband, gee, I always wanted to play the harp.
And are most harps made of wood?
They are made of wood. Now they make them out of some newfangled fibers, but this is a wood harp.
And the strings, are they, I was reading in some of the history that they were animal sinew originally, and they had a lot of fiber strings.
Yeah, well, there's different harps over the ages. I mean, that was always the problem. What could you make the strings out of? And really ancient harps sometimes used hair, wound hair, and there's all silk on some of the ancient Asian harps. And when the Irish took up the harp in ancient Ireland, the harp had, in the very old days, wire strung. They were wire strung harps. Some say they were gold. Irish gold makers were very good at drawing strings, so they were made out of gold. And the harp then was played with long fingernails as opposed to the pads of the fingers, which is what I'm using now. And back in the old days, the Irish harp players used to play on their left shoulder with the left hand up here. And somehow, after the invention of the keyboard, that got switched around to this way, with the right hand playing the melody and the left hand playing the accompaniment. So, but the Irish, are known in the ancient world as being like these really excellent musicians, and even the Romans, who didn't really like the Irish very much at all, said they had really terrific musicians.
Now that piece on your hand, tell them what that is for, because I thought maybe she had carpal tunnel or something. And
no, my arm is still there. I use this to prevent harp burn.
Now remember,
I rest my arm here on the wood, so rather than having my skin.
She's not saying heartburn, because I immediately, being a naturalist, thought that this was a new acupuncture. Put a band on your hand and your heart doesn't get heartburn.
No, I rest my arm here. I teach the harp, so the important part of learning to play the harp is sitting with a nice posture and having your hand in this style of harp at a relaxed posture, as opposed to some of the classical harpists have their elbows all the way up here. We don't do that, and playing traditional music, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more relaxed, and the harp sits a little bit lower on the harp player. Harpist for people who play the big harps, and usually they call people who play the harp this size and usually a harper. But I'll take either one.
Either harpist or harper she'll take.
I can answer to that.
And other instruments that you play?
Well, I also play the fiddle. I play traditional Irish music, and my husband plays with me. And together we play around this area. Traditional music, I have you gotta have harp. That's the name of my company.
Say it again.
You gotta have harp. And so I do music, not only teach music in my home, I have a private studio, but I also play for things like weddings. You got to have harp at a wedding.
You have to have a harp.
Got
at
to
the
have
wedding.
harp at a wedding.
Absolutely.
And corporate around music, the harp is perfect. Doesn't really intrude on people talking, but it's nice. I play out at garden weddings quite a lot, and it creates a lovely atmosphere. I'll if we have some minutes, I'll play you another tune.
All right.
This would be like something that I would play at a wedding, perhaps. It makes terrific processional or recessional. It's a tune by a blind harper from Ireland in the 17th century by the name of O'Carolyn, and you could just imagine, a bride walking into the garden to a nice processional like this.
Of a harpsichord. Is there any correlation between a harpsichord, which is like a string instrument as well?
The harpsichord, it is a stringed instrument, and the idea behind the harpsichord was to take what people were doing with the harp, which is plucking strings. And if you actually look into a harpsichord, there actually is a little thing that actually plucks the string. The key actually engages a lever, a switch that actually will pluck a string. And that, of course, is the precursor to the piano.
Yes, and the piano actually strikes
the string. Okay,
so,
but a harp, and people will usually ask me about the colors of the strings, and it really just helps me to find where I am. If you play music, I'll just give you a scale here. Here's a C scale, for example. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, right? So the red string is C, the next one is D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Just goes right in a line like that. And so...
and you have metal levers up here. This is for adjusting?
I do. Let's see. There. I'd have to turn it on the other side.
That's all right.
Have to use
Just
the other
talk
camera.
about them.
There you go. There's levers here. So here's on this C. This is a C natural. And when I put the lever up, it engages the string, makes it shorter, and so raises it lower and half a step. So it will do that. So that's how you change every harp, even the harps and the pedal harps actually have pedals in the back of the harp that are engaged with the feet to do the same thing I'm doing with my finger here.
Very good.
Okay, so but that's how the harp works. It's very linear. I always say to people, if you want to take up a really pleasant instrument, play the harp.
And
it immediately sounds good.
Do you use the same sheet music that others would use?
Well, there are things that are made for arrangements for harp. Again, the accompany with the left hand, and the right hand does the melody. I personally don't use any sheet music. I teach by ear in traditional style, so which would be different than, say, people who would be taking a pedal harp. They always start with sheet music. But people on folk harp, a lot of the traditions are passed on by listening and by one person to the next.
Yeah, as a member of the Commodore Barry Club, I have sat in on lessons, and the Irish songs are a repetition of 3 different cycles. In other words, you play the same tune 3 different times, and then so that everybody gets the idea of the tune, and they all play by ear.
Yeah, I'll have to, in fact, up at the Irish Center, the Commodore Barry Club, every second Sunday of the month, my husband and I and our friend Chris Brennan-Hagee, we have what we call the Next Generation session.
Oh, very good.
And so
I've
we
seen that
we
advertised.
teach young musicians how to play Irish music on their instruments.
Very good. Hold that thought, and we will be back, so don't go away. This is RadioVision Network, Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
RadioVision Network. This is Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole. And no, you haven't died and gone to heaven. We are not angels playing harps here. This is Kathy DeAngelo, and she's telling us all about the harp and about the strings and the history of the harp. And she's even got some festivals she's going to tell us about. Tell us a little bit about your festival that you just completed.
Well, I organize and run the Somerset Folk Harp Festival. It's held up in Parsippany since 2009. I took over that business in 2008. And it is one of the largest harp conferences, festivals in the country.
And what would we see while we go up there, besides hearing
all these harps? That we have players who come from all over the country, all over the world actually, on harps of such a wide variety. So people might come to study Paraguayan harp, or they might come to study with somebody who is doing the old ancient Irish harp. We have a big program in jazz and blues and electric harps. Harps can be any size. So if you think that this is something you've never seen before, you can come to the Harp Festival, and it is everything from medieval harps, Renaissance harps, to modern day harps made out of carbon fiber.
Is this a traditional size?
This is, well,
And
you
do
know,
they
there is,
range
depends
large?
on the style of harp. So some of the harps are smaller, and some are bigger. Depends on the maker, the size of the person who's playing it, the kind of music you want to play.
Do harps always sit on the floor, or is there a harp that can be held in the hand and just leaned on the lap?
That's a good question. Actually, this is they all reach down to the floor for me. I put them on the floor, but actually there are different sizes of harps which actually can sit on the lap. There are therapeutic harps now which people use, and they actually strap them on. They use a small harp, and they strap it on and might travel around in a hospital and play for patients either undergoing surgery or just in recovery, or sometimes in a hospice situation, play soothing harp music. So there's all different styles of harp, and the Harp Festival, we just finished it. There were hundreds of harpers there.
Is it more than one day?
It's 4 days, and next year it'll be from July 20th to the 23rd up in Parsippany. You can go, or you can go to yougottahaveharp.com. I have an events page there. I organize a number of events, and the Harp Festival is the biggest one.
So you've
that
got
I do.
you've got to have harp.
Yeah,
Very catchy.
yeah. And you can type "You Gotta Have Harp" into Google, and you will come up with our website, Somerset Harp Festival. And then there's another event that I organize in the fall called the Harper's Escape, and I've been
where's
doing
that
that.
held?
That's now it's held in New Brunswick.
Oh.
And this will be the 24th year. It's the final year that we're going to be doing that particular event. I started out doing that a long time ago, and the Harp Festival is now such an all-consuming endeavor. So I'm
You can
letting
only do so much.
Yeah.
What is the one coming up in October called again?
the Harper's Escape.
Harper's Escape.
Yeah, and that's a very small weekend. We have 4 instructors coming. One of them comes from Ireland to do it, and
So you can come to these festivals and take lessons?
take lessons. It's all about workshop. It's all about hands-on, and about learning the harp. And at the Harper's Escape, you already have to know how to play the harp. You know, we don't take people just who have never played the harp before. It's for people who are into the harp and want to further their skills and just learn how to play music. We do it all by ear. We teach people to play by ear. That's right. That's my
And how
thing.
would people get in touch with you personally if they wanted an individual harp or violin lesson?
I teach fiddle. I teach Irish music on the harp or the fiddle. And you can contact me at Kathy with a K at harpagency.com. You can go to harpagency.com, and I'm all over the internet. You can just go to that website. My contact information is there. Type Harp, South Jersey or New Jersey, Kathy, and you will come up with all of our websites.
And was there a particular reason, other than your friend taking up the harp, that you chose this instrument?
Well, the harp is the last instrument I've learned to play. I play a number of other instruments. I thought the fiddle would be the last instrument I would take up, but I really like the harp. And every Thursday night you can come down to the Treehouse in Audubon, New Jersey. We have a traditional Irish music session there, so you'll see me sitting there with the harp, and I've got the fiddle handy. So it's always a torn. Should I play the
Say
just
again,
tune on
that's
the
Thursday night?
Thursday nights from 8 to 10, and that's a lot of different players, people who just enjoy Irish music come bring their instruments, and we just do an Irish music session. Wow. So it's a lot of fun, and we just do it for the fun, and you can see all different ages there, from young people to older people, even older people than me.
Well, I'll tell you, I would like to hear more of the music, but I'm going to sign out for RadioVision Network, and I'm going to let my boss just focus in on the music. So this is Carole Moore from RadioVision Network, and Morning Coffee, Friday with Carole, and let's hear some more of Kathy DeAngelo on the harp. And have a good week, and we'll see you next week.